Welcome to CFOF Unplugged. Today we're getting real about buying AI for CPM+DnA, the question you should ask before you buy anything. Ready to get unplugged? Let's go. This is a conversation happening in every mid-market finance organization right now. It usually sounds like this: we need to be doing more with AI, followed quickly by, what tools are the other teams using? And then someone pulls up a vendor comparison slide, and suddenly you're in a buying conversation. Before you know it, you are evaluating platforms, sitting through demos, and building a business case around something you haven't fully defined yet. I see this pattern constantly, especially in CPM and data and analytics, where there is no shortage of vendors telling you their platform is now AI native, AI powered, AI first. And here's the problem. The purchasing decision is not the hard part. The hard part is what comes after. When the tool is live and the results are not what you expected, that is when the real question surfaces. Were we actually ready for this? Buying AI for finance is not a technology decision. It is an operating model decision that happens to involve technology. The question is not, which AI tool should we buy? The question is, what are we trying to improve? And do we have the foundation to support it? Those are very different starting points. One leads you into a vendor evaluation. The other leads you into a readiness conversation. And in my experience, the organizations tend to skip the readiness conversation, end up spending real money to surface problems they already had, just faster and at scale. Let's be honest about what the market looks like right now. Every major CPM/EPM vendor has repositioned around AI. Planning platforms, consolidation tools, reporting and analytics suites, all of them led by AI capabilities in their pitch. And some of those capabilities are genuinely useful. Automated anomaly detection, natural language interfaces for financial data, AI-assisted variance commentary, predictive scenario modeling. These are all real features. They can add value. But here's what the vendor pitch does not tell you. Those features only work as well as the foundation underneath them. If your chart of accounts is inconsistent, the AI will learn inconsistently. If your cost center definitions vary across entities, the AI will reflect that variance. If your planning assumptions are not shared across functions, the AI will generate forecasts that nobody agrees on. The tool does not fix those problems. It exposes them, usually at the worst possible time. And in the mid-market environment where you do not have a large data engineering team to clean things up on the back end, that exposure can stall a deployment for months. There are a few patterns I see repeatedly when the tool conversation starts in the wrong place. Pattern 1, the use case is too vague. Teams know they want AI to help with planning or forecasting, but they have not defined which specific decisions they want to improve. Better forecasting is not a use case. Reducing variance between rolling forecast and actuals by improving assumption alignment across sales and operations. That is a use case. When the use case is vague, the tool selection is arbitrary. Any AI-enabled platform sounds reasonable, and you could end up buying for the demo, not the outcome. Pattern 2, finance and IT are not aligned. This is one of the most consistent friction points in the mid-market AI deployments. Finance sees a planning problem. IT sees a data infrastructure problem. Neither is wrong, but if they are not aligned, before the purchase, you end up with a tool that finance loves in theory and IT cannot fully support in practice. Implementations slow down. Integrations break. The business case erodes, and both sides point at each other. Pattern 3, the data is not ready. I covered this in depth in a recent Substack piece, but it's worth reinforcing here. AI requires consistent, well-defined, trusted data, not perfect data, but structured data with clear ownership and understood limitations. In most finance environments, that bar is not fully met. Not because the teams are not capable, but because data has historically been managed reactively. When you layer AI on top of reactive data management, you amplify the inconsistency. You do not cure it. So what should the conversation look like instead? There are 3 moves I consistently recommend before any AI purchasing decision in CPM or data and analytics. Move 1, define the decision you are trying to improve. Get specific. Is it forecast accuracy? Is it the speed of variance analysis during close? Is it the reliability of forecast projections? Is it the quality of financial commentary for leadership? Name the decision, name who owns it, name what good looks like. That single move will filter out 70% of the vendor noise, because you now are evaluating against a defined outcome, not a feature list. Move 2, assess the foundation honestly. Before you evaluate any tool, run a quick readiness check against 5 areas. Strategy. Do we know what we are trying to achieve and in what order? People. Do we have clear ownership of data, processes, and decisions? Process. Are core finance processes consistent and documented? Technology. Is our current environment stable enough to extend? Data. Do we have consistent definitions and sufficient quality in the data AI will consume? If the answer to most of those is no, that does not mean you do not buy. It means you sequence correctly. You fix the foundation first, then you layer in the tool. That sequence matters more than the tool itself. Move 3, align finance and IT before the vendor enters the room. This is the most underrated step. Get finance and IT into the same conversation before you invite any vendors. Define shared success criteria. Define who owns what in the deployment. Agree on how data will be managed, validated, and governed. That alignment does not slow the process down. It prevents the rework that slows everything down later. Here's where I want to push back on a narrative I hear a lot, that mid-market organizations are behind in AI because they lack the resources of the enterprise. I think the opposite is true when mid-market teams play it right. Fewer layers means faster alignment. Closer proximity between finance and operations means use cases are easier to define and validate. Smaller data environments are actually easier to clean up and structure than the massive fragmented estates you find in large enterprise. And the CFO in a mid-market organization has more direct influence over the sequencing decisions. They can say strategy before technology, foundation before autonomy, and actually make it stick. That is not a constraint. That is an advantage. The mid-market teams that will win with AI are not the ones who bought the newest platform first. They are the ones who are intentional about the order. If you take one thing away from this episode, the AI purchasing decision is not the hard part. The hard part is knowing what you are trying to change and whether you are ready to change. When that clarity exists, vendor selection gets easier, implementation moves faster, adoption is higher because the team understands the why and the investment actually delivers. AI does not create clarity. It requires it. So here's the question I would leave with you. If your organization is in or heading into an AI evaluation for your CPM and data and analytics environment, What is the decision you are actually trying to improve? Start there. Everything else follows. Thanks for listening to CFOF Unplugged, where we are redefining finance one conversation at a time.